It all began when Isaiah Zagar and his wife Julia moved back to Philadelphia, specifically South Street in the late 1960s. He began creating artful walls from different material that comes his way. Then, in the early 2000s, he created an astonishing place called Magic Garden.
And I would say that a lot of what the Magic Garden is how I feel the world.
Hi, I'm Allison. I work at Philadelphia's Magic Gardens here on South Street. The history of this place is a very long and involved one, but it starts out with Isaiah Zagar. He's our founding artist. He has been mosaicing on South Street since the late 60s, so for about 50 years now. The first place he ever mosaiced was the Eyes Gallery, which is right down the street. But he started this location in the early 90s. And he owned the building and he owned the lot that I'm standing on, but he didn't own everything that's on the other side of this wall here. So he was using this building for storage and for an apartment building, and he mosaiced the whole structure and this section right here. And he started to mosaic the lots that he didn't own as well. So they were just flat, vacant lots. And he started to build up walls on the inside of them. He mosaiced the back wall, and the men who did own the property came down in the early 2000s wanting to sell their property and saw all this stuff that Isaiah had built on it.
There were two properties that I didn't own that I was working on, and he was upset because he had come to see why it wasn't selling when all the properties around it were sold.
So fortunately, the neighborhood heard that this might all get destroyed, and they rallied around Isaiah and they bought the property and formed the nonprofit. So today we're Philadelphia's Magic Gardens. We have tours, we have happy hours, all sorts of different events, and I'd love to take you on a tour to check it out. So everything you see here was added by him. This was just a flat grass lot when he took on this property, and it had garbage, had homeless people hanging out. So it wasn't a very desirable place to be, but Isaiah started out by mosaicing the back wall and building up these structures, and eventually excavated down into the ground and added different grottos to it as well. So he finished up work in 2008, but he really is still working on the space. There's a lot of things that he still adds. He'll come through, maybe general repairs or changes, add new bits of folk art to the work. So it is still very much a work in progress. If we go down this hallway, you can see a lot of the different materials that he's used. A lot of the bottles he collected from recycling bins, the bike wheels that you see he collected from a bike shop that's down the street called Via Bicycle. And then you'll see a lot of little sculptures and carvings that he has collected from his travels. So little statues like this that you see would have been something that he would have collected from his travels. The tiles, most of them are just basic kitchen bathroom tiles. A lot of them he will paint over and refire them so that they have a pattern on them and make them a little bit more interesting. So any drawings that you see are drawings that Isaiah has done. A lot of his work, there's a lot of little details in it, but you have to sort of stand back and you can see the bigger picture as well. There's a lot of people and different things hidden in his work.
People go to the Magic Garden and something happens to them. Pretty interesting.